Hey readers and writers, on the screen you see a bunch of words in the purple section of this triangle. What I would like for you to do is to take a look at the words, turn and talk with your group, tell me what do you notice about these words, and which words of these do you know? Turn and talk now. Five, four, three, two, one. Hands up top. Good. What about the green section? What do you notice about these words? Which words do you know? Turn and talk now. Five, four, three, two, one. Hands up top. Good. Last but not least, the red section. What do you notice about these words? Which words on here do you know? Turn and talk. Five, four, three, two, one. Hands up top. Good. I am going to pause the video now so I can call on a couple of people. I would like to know what you talked about in your group, so I'll pause the video now. Great. So when I was calling on people, one of the common themes that I kept hearing was that you may have known a bunch of the words, but the words, Mason says hi, but the words kept getting a little bit harder as we went up through our pyramid. And the reason for that is because we have 3 tiers of vocabulary. Oh, so the very bottom, the green section, that was our tier 1, our everyday language. So these are everyday words that are familiar to most people who speak our language because they're used in speaking. The next section up, we have our tier 2 or our academic vocabulary. So these words are used mostly in our writing. These words are found in books often leveled white through gold. So they're used frequently, but these words become a little more juicy. These are some of the 5th grade words that we replace other words with. Then we have up at that top red section, those were our tier 3 words, our technical vocabulary. These are words that are mostly in texts or discussions about a specific content area or discipline. So these are the words that they seemed a little more scientific in our pyramid there. So I'm going to pause the video now so that you can take this organizer and glue it into the next available page of your ELA notebook. I'll pause now. Great. So today we are going to be working within these 3 tiers of vocabulary, doing a little bit of a word hunt. Now, these differences in vocabulary words are a huge part of what make up our levels. As we're moving through the levels, the amount of academic and technical vocabulary will increase. So it's important to know that these are not really words that we can memorize. We're not going to be memorizing huge amounts of these within the year. The best way for you to take these words in is not by studying a word list, but is by paying attention to the words on your page. When you come across a new word, don't skip over it. Take some time to look at it, to understand it, to figure it out. Another thing we can do is pay attention to the world around us, because the more aware we are, the more information we take in. The more information we take in, the more words we learn, and the higher our reading level then becomes. So today, by the end of class, I'd like us to be able to say, I can determine the tier of vocabulary words in my text by placing them in a 3 tiers of vocabulary chart. So at the end of class, we will be coming back to this, doing a fist of 5 to analyze how well we met this goal today. So we're all going to get this 3 tiers of vocabulary organizer, but I'd like to show you what we're doing with it first. So I have 3 words here up on the screen: trance, abducted, and house. These all came from page 10 of our Mysteries of Alien Visitors and Abduction text. So I'm not going to try and define them. I'm not going to try and figure out what they are. All I want to do is place them into my organizer as tier 1, tier 2, or tier 3. So I'm going to start with house because that is one that I recognize right away. It doesn't matter what the content is. It doesn't matter what we're talking about, a house is a house, and that's something we use in everyday language. So house could go into tier 1 on my sheet. Everyday language. Now let's move into abducted. We are reading a book about aliens. I noticed on my page, this is something that had been defined at the bottom. This word was specific to the content of this text. So I'm going to go ahead and place that into tier 3, abducted. That was a technical term. Finally, we have trance. So this word here, I know when I'm in a trance, I'm kind of staring, I'm not really focusing. To me, that is kind of a juicier word for in a state of distraction. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that into my tier 2 section because I think that was more of an academic term, more of a word replacement. So trance. So notice how all I'm doing is sorting these words into the organizer. We're not defining them yet. We're not doing anything else with them. We're just deciding if it's tier 1, tier 2, or tier 3. And don't worry about being right or wrong today. Just worry about giving it a try. So it is time for you to try. We are going to be working with partners at our tables, so we're not going to be getting up and moving around the room today. You'll be staying at your desks because this won't take too long. You're going to be working within our text, Mysteries of Alien Visitors and Abductions, and you are going to be looking through any page you'd like for about 10 minutes. It may be a little bit less. But as you're going through, I want you to be looking for words on the page that you do or do not know and see how many words you can get into tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3 of your organizer. So we are just working on the core text side of our organizer. I will pause the video now to take some questions and to give any further instruction. Great, so we did a wonderful job of sorting these vocabulary words through our tier 3s of vocabulary. I'm impressed with how many words every partnership was able to find and to sort onto their organizers. So today in your wide reading, you're going to be doing the same thing but on your own. So this time we'll be in the My Book section of our tiers of vocabulary organizer. So as you are reading today, I want to know, what words can you find in your wide reading? Can you find tier 1, tier 2, or tier 3 words? Happy reading.